Are you a professional overthinker? Do you find that any topic on your mind has the potential to morph into a doomsday scenario? These feelings are typically accompanied by various unpleasant emotions. Your thoughts demand all your attention, and it's probable that you believe these negative thoughts are the root cause of your negative feelings. However, what if I tell you that this might not be the case? A lot of content claims that your thinking is the problem. There's a common theme in self-improvement circles, blaming negative thoughts for negative feelings. In other words, if you're miserable, it's because you are thinking miserable thoughts. This tendency leads to another one, demonizing thought and glorifying feelings. Your thought is labeled as bad, while feelings are praised as good. But is that really so? Are negative thoughts responsible for your negative feelings? Are your thoughts the villains and your feelings the heroes? What comes first, your thoughts or your feelings? Let's solve this puzzle once and for all. This poses a classic chicken and egg dilemma, doesn't it? Many of us assume that our thoughts determine our emotions. In other words, positive thoughts lead to positive feelings, while negative thoughts result in negative emotions. While this logic seems reasonable, there's no compelling reason for you to dismiss the possibility of the reverse being true. If you scrutinize your thoughts in relation to your emotions, wouldn't it make more sense if feelings took precedence? Aren't feelings more primal? Every sentient being experiences feelings, but thoughts, as we conceptualize them, appear to be exclusive to us, the hairless primates, at least on this planet. Moreover, it's reasonable to assume that our less hairless Stone Age ancestors could feel before they could think. So, how did we come to believe that thoughts are the instigators of feelings? Consider the idea that your feelings might be influencing your thoughts rather than the other way around. Upon reflecting on your life, do you not sense that your feelings often shape your thinking? This is not to argue that feelings always precede thoughts, but there is experiential evidence supporting this notion. Despite your inclination to perceive yourself as a rational being, it's not challenging to observe that the opposite is often true. You are an irrational being with the capacity for rationality. Your heart exerts influence over your brain, and your heart has been conditioned to cling to its emotions, regardless of how painful and irrational they may be. Are your opinions and beliefs grounded in rationality, or are they primarily fueled by emotional attachments? It seems reasonable to assert that most of your opinions and beliefs derive more from emotional investment than from rational thought. What's the significance? Does that imply you're responsible for your feelings? Not necessarily. Ultimately, it depends on how you direct your feelings and thoughts. While they can collaborate, most of the time they don't. Often, thoughts don't appreciate feelings, and feelings don't appreciate thoughts. However, from a negative perspective, they tend to align. Negative thoughts invite negative feelings, and vice versa. The challenge lies in determining when to trust your thoughts and when to trust your feelings. Sometimes both seem divinely inspired, while other times both seem like utter nonsense. The root cause, and it's a significant one, is that you can't always discern which feelings and thoughts truly belong to you. Much of what you think and feel is a result of conditioning bombarding you from various angles. Because you easily feel overwhelmed in the whirlwind of your mind, you gravitate towards the positivity train. Certainly many advocate for positive thinking. However, in reality, you couldn't care less about positive thinking. What you truly desire is to feel happy, not just think happy. If you were genuinely happy, you wouldn't be concerned about what your thoughts are asserting. On the flip side, if you maintained a constant stream of positive thoughts but still felt unhappy, who cares about the positive thoughts? Positive thinking may offer a temporary boost, akin to a band-aid. However, it doesn't address the core issue of suffering. No one is interested in positive thinking itself except as a means to an end. Now, what if I suggested that positive thinking isn't the route to the outcome you seek? It isn't. This clarifies why you're invested in unraveling the thinking-feeling dilemma. You aspire to happiness, assuming that rectifying the way you think and feel is the key. The real question is why you find yourself in a state of negative thinking and feeling. Now that you're aware that your ultimate goal is happiness, you have a starting point. The next question you might be pondering is, what steps should you take? How do you align thought and feeling? Do you need to alter thoughts, feelings, or perhaps neither? Who is to blame in this scenario? Consider this. What if nothing requires changing? What if there isn't a villain? I previously suggested that feelings may precede thoughts, but the truth is, there's no definitive way to ascertain this. If you examine your experiences and attempt to identify the feeling preceding a thought, you'll find it. Yet, if you then try to pinpoint the thought preceding that exact feeling, you'll find that too. And sometimes they even appear to emerge simultaneously. Given this, is there any real purpose in determining whether the chicken or the egg came first? Not really. However, when it comes to transforming your way of being, some approaches prove more effective. Some advocate simply forcing yourself to think and feel positively. Essentially, you establish a habit of cultivating positive thoughts and feelings, returning to it whenever negativity creeps in. From personal experience, I can confirm that it works to some extent, contingent on your current self-understanding. However, true happiness doesn't solely stem from habits. The authentic way to liberate yourself from negativity is to release all accumulated emotional debris from your system. The only reason you entertain negative thoughts is because your conditioning and beliefs compel the thinking process to do so. The underlying emotional tension you carry throughout each day significantly influences your life, and to a large extent, you may be unaware of it. Let's solve the thinking-feeling dilemma. Thoughts possess a multitude of potential expressions, meaning a single feeling can generate thousands of associated thoughts. If there's a mental construct bothering you that you wish to dismantle, starting from the top with all the thoughts can be a laborious task. In most cases, it proves ineffective, as by the time your right hand undoes one thought, your left hand has already introduced two more. The issue lies in the desire to commence from the top. Why not initiate the process from the bottom? There's no need to meticulously deconstruct the construct. Simply remove the lowest supporting structure, allowing the entire thing to collapse, be it violently or gently. This entails going straight to the feeling complex. Instead of grappling with self-perpetuating thoughts, connect with the feeling and allow yourself to experience it fully. Embrace the discomfort of the emotion. By doing so, the energy behind the feeling depletes, and once all the energy is exhausted, the feeling dissipates. As the supporting structure is removed, the associated thoughts likely vanish as well. This approach can be perplexing for most of us. For a considerable time, understanding how to navigate the realm of emotions was elusive, until one day it dawned on you that this isn't a cognitive process. It clicked. You can attend to the underlying felt sense, irrespective of the thoughts running through your mind. Thoughts are not obstacles. Overthinking is not a hindrance. Rather than fixating on thoughts proclaiming, "I'm confused, I don't understand," delve into the feeling behind those thoughts. What does confusion feel like? All you need for this is your ever-reliable companion, awareness. Illuminate those feelings and resist the urge to push them away. They will only disappear through understanding, and to comprehend, you must observe them diligently, as if they were external to you. Understanding comes through observation. If you want to understand a hippopotamus in the wild, you wouldn't approach it by pushing it around or instructing it to stand differently. Attempting this would likely result in harm to yourself. The same principle applies to feelings. Trying to alter them and make them disappear only leads to more feelings that you'll attempt to change and eliminate. It's a relentless cycle, and many people find themselves trapped in it for most of their lives. To break free from this cycle, redirect your focus to the part of your experience that you've been avoiding or overlooking most of the time. Examine the recurring fears and sufferings in your life, then transition from thinking about them to experiencing the felt sense of those emotions. The persistent thoughts linked to emotional pain are not resolved by continuing to dwell on them. Instead, the resolution comes from shifting to the underlying unresolved feeling that sustains them. Thoughts that evoke negative feelings simply indicate unresolved emotional tension. Rather than fixating on external triggers that make you feel bad, concentrate on the fundamental, general distress beneath. It's almost like a metaphysical anxiety about life itself, seeking expression through various aspects of your existence. Some might call it the source of suffering. Others might call it you. Ultimately, what are you but an idea rooted in psychosomatic tension reacting to the world? This is the linchpin you have to remove. While it might take some time for the last traces of your associated pains and sorrows to fade away, there are advantages. Even before reaching that stage, stop trying to think your way out of worries and anxieties. Everyday concerns and anxieties that can't be immediately resolved through action are not worth lingering on. Do you know what is worth contemplating? Reflect on what you genuinely desire. Question what is inherently true. Free your thinking from conditioned feelings, and then methodically and thoughtfully work through your thoughts. This is a potent method for unlocking the potential of thought. It signifies the commencement of independent thinking, as your thoughts are no longer dictated by moods you haven't consciously chosen. Contrary to prevailing New Age notions, thinking is not the adversary. If you find pleasure in thinking, continue doing so. However, refrain from wasting it on worries and subjects you'd rather avoid contemplating. Feeling is not the adversary either. Apart from brief moments of control, we can't regulate how we feel. Ironically, acknowledging this reduces the perceived weight of feelings and cultivates more enjoyable emotional experiences. You no longer strive to restrain or manipulate your feelings. Instead, you simply acknowledge them, as that is all feelings desire, to be recognized. Concurrently, feeling is liberated and takes on a new role. Since your feelings are no longer primarily a reflection of the past, they become a fresh sense to utilize as a guide for your life. You'll increasingly discern which feelings to trust. Some refer to it as intuition. In the past, your feelings served as a mechanism to recreate your false life, a life entwined with the past and future. Now, your feelings are firmly grounded in the present, no longer tethered to the realms of the past and future. These feelings act as your subtle antennae for discerning rightness and wrongness, guiding you when gentle course corrections are needed. They form a crucial part of your navigation system for your authentic life, a life unfolding only in the present moment. Harmony prevails, and your thoughts and feelings adopt a new essence. The resistance against them diminishes, making way for a more cohesive collaboration. Suddenly, both thoughts and feelings cease to be adversaries and transform into your allies, assisting you in living life according to your preferences. To sum it up, instead of getting caught up in the debate of thoughts versus feelings, focus on understanding and embracing your emotions. By addressing underlying emotional tension and allowing it to dissipate, You break free from the cycle of negative thoughts. Redirect your focus internally, release conditioned attachments, and let thoughts and feelings become allies in guiding you towards a more authentic life. Subscribe, like, share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and let's continue this journey together.